this Saturday morning, this wet Saturday morning. I mean, it's raining on both sides of the street. And certainly, whether it's snow, rain, sleet, I'm always here. I'm always here trying to give you information, have opportunity to talk to you and you to me. And once again, just want to say good morning to you, and we thank God for each and every one of you. It's about 5 minutes after the hour. And as we roll along on this, the 12th day of May, just want to again say good morning to you and thank you so much for being supportive of WHPR. You know, people don't have to be nice, and when they are, at least you can do is say thank you. And certainly we always want to do that just to let you know how grateful we are and how thankful we are for your support down through the years. Well, not only for WHPR, but also for the program Hello Detroit. And certainly my sisters and brothers, again, we've been doing everything we can to try to, Saturday after Saturday, to bring you information and try to basically inspire you and to challenge you, and for more than anything else, to just let you know, indeed, that it does take a village to really to raise a child and really to raise a culture. And certainly, we want to make sure that indeed that we have an opportunity to talk to you and you to me. And once again, we say good morning to you, and we thank God for you. Right now, we're looking at high today about 55 degrees, about 49 degrees on both sides of the street right now. On tomorrow, we're talking about rain tomorrow as well, 65 degrees to the high for tomorrow. And then on Monday, we're talking about 80 degrees, 80, that's right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80, 80 degrees on Monday. But we got to get through the rain, and certainly indeed to understand we got to have some flowers coming in. And so we just want to just say thank you so much for just being there for us. And whether it's the weather, whatever the weather may be, as my grandmother would always say, every day above ground is a good day. And so this is a good day. There's a lot of things that we could talk about this morning. And one of the things I wanted to get in and really talk to you a little bit about, and certainly I'm trying to see what we can do in terms of working with the Detroit public schools here in the city of Detroit, as to what we can do, and hopefully that you, myself, and others can come together to see what we can do to try to really get ready for September, and really try to change the statistics that has been thrown at us. And we know that indeed, my sisters and brothers, that our children are very every child is able to learn, and we just got to see what we could do to help them to do just that. And so we ought to really talk about this morning and try to put some things on the table as to what we think we should do, what we can do as a community. Rather than complaining about it, then what we should do, then what can we do about it? And in terms of really giving some ideas to the school board and to the new superintendent, and as we can work together, even if we don't have children in the school system, we certainly want to make sure that we do everything we can prepare for those that are in the school system, as well as those who will be coming in. And so once again, we just feel like we need to talk about the education, where we are with education. It was a piece that I got from Minister Farrakhan, and what he was saying, the lecture that he did at this particular time, the educational challenge, a new educational paradigm for the 21st century. And of course, when you look at all the various statistics that's out there, not only in the city of Detroit, but around this country, then of course, what can we do? And of course, what we need to do from a nationwide, but right here in Detroit is what I'm concerned about, and I'm sure that you are as well. We seem to have a good variety of board members, and they seem to be very energetic and creative, and certainly again, obviously, that they need us and we need them. So I thought maybe we might talk about it this morning in terms of your thoughts on how we can really do more in terms of helping our young people in terms of education. We know that indeed that we were. It came out about 4 weeks ago that Detroit is the last in terms of educational system. We're talking about reading. You're talking about the math skills, reading skills. You're talking about the various comprehension skills, all those kinds of things. And of course, a lot of times when I bring these statistics to you, you get very upset about it, and you feel like I'm basically am being critical, and I'm blaming the victim rather than the people that's oppressing us, so to speak. Those are kind of comments that we get a lot of times, and I guess the thing about it, if you really don't know the problem, how can you really follow? How can you solve it if you don't know what the problems are, and what the challenges are? How can we really solve them? And so, again, excuse me, I just wanted to make sure that we have some conversation about that. The other thing is kind of interesting that in Indiana, the president was there a couple of days ago, and he was talking about that the unemployment for African Americans is down in the ever. It's the best that's since they've been taking statistics. The African American employment is down, and that basically for the most part that we are really the jobs that we're in the job market, and that we are doing well, and all these kind of things. But the thing about it is, you see what's going on here in the city of Detroit and other urban America. What's going on here? I mean, what is he seeing that we don't see? A lot of times I hear the statistics about the fact that the numbers are going down in terms of the crime rate and all that. But every time you turn on television, you talk about a crime, and so I wonder what kind of statistics are they using that seems that we're not using. And so again, I thought maybe we have some conversation this morning in regards to things like that. There's the Maxine Waters was on the House floor on Friday, and there was a big argument on the House floor between she and another congressperson, and talking basically about making America great again, and of course, obviously, her concept of making America great again is different from the concept of the congressman that she was talking to. And of course, I want to ask you, what is your thoughts about it? I think when we heard this, when the president was running, that we felt like these were code words, but are they really code words? Are they really words that basically where they feel like indeed that American values and the country that our founding fathers found is changing, and perhaps they want to go back to that, where you see so many people really are tearing down history. There are those who want to keep history alive and well. And so again, at 14 minutes after the hour, I thought maybe again there's something that we might want to that we might want to excuse me, I'm sorry about that we might want to talk about. And again, I just wanted to make sure that we get some conversation, and and perhaps I sound like a broken record from Saturday to Saturday, but I guess until the record is really mended and fixed, then we ought to continue to talk about this community in terms of Detroit, the education here in the city of Detroit, jobs here in the city of Detroit, and what it is that we can do to try to make a difference ourselves, rather than just complain about it. What can we do about it, kind of a thing. And certainly, my sisters and brothers, again, just want to have some conversation with you. The numbers on they will be right. They are on your television screen. The area code is 313 for those of you who are listening by way of internet. The area code is always 313. And the numbers are 868-0342, 868-0351, and 868-4336. Those are the numbers, and certainly you're welcome to give us a call here at WHPR. And we're very happy to take your calls and really what your thoughts are. I was at a educational gala last night and they were celebrating the Detroit Public Schools were celebrating their teachers and the union, and they all had come together to basically to celebrate education, celebrate those who basically are basically gone above and beyond their duty as a teacher, duties as administrator, duties as a professional, and had awards for that, and very well done and very well thought out. And again, it's one of the first times that you have where the teachers, the Board of Education, and the union comes together, and basically to try to work together and really try to really acknowledge their role of the various people in the organizations, what they're doing to help things to get things better in the public school system. And so once again, Jim Holley here with you on this Saturday morning. It's raining, as I said before, and like it's going to be raining quite a bit today. And if you're driving, you have to be very careful because you're going to hit a lot of water, really, whatever you call it, where you basically end up where it can be very dangerous in going through these, where you think the water is very shallow and it's really deep. Can be a dangerous situation. So you just want to make sure if you're going to drive today that you take your time, and it's best to get there late than not to get there at all. And so saying that with the weather situation and also what's going on here in the city of Detroit, want to thank for those of you who are getting the word out about the food program that we have at the historic Little Rock Baptist Church. And we fed, I think it's 407 people yesterday. We gave each family about 70 pounds of food. And I think it's 407 that was there yesterday. And it went very well. And you're getting the word out that we every first and fourth Friday of the month that we basically have food. Obviously, I know this is not the answer to it all, but for the most part, my sisters and brothers, it is what it is because a lot of people really need help, and obviously, food is a staple that basically we are trying to provide for them while they get the help they need in terms of permanency. And so again, we just want to let you know that we're very grateful for you getting the word out in terms of the food distribution there at the historic Little Rock Baptist Church. And then also want to remind you that we're having another job fair. It's a little ways off, but just want you to know that heads up, having another job fair in October and on the end of September is what we decided to do it at the end of September. And adding voting registration to that job fair. And again, I'm just saying to you is that it'd be the second one we've had this year. We had about over 800 some people that showed up at the job fair, and about 62 vendors that showed up. And so again, I hope to do more and try to make sure that indeed we get more people hired by the fall of this year. And so again, we was at the NAACP dinner last Sunday, and 10,000 people. I mean, what a beautiful sight, my sister and brother, to see 10,000 people coming together of all walks of life, all stages in terms of their careers and in terms of their ethnic background, and all sea of people, just a sea of people that's you see from one wall to the next. It's the largest in the world, a sit-down dinner And of course, Mr. Booker was one of he was the senator, the only two African American senators in the Senate, and he's one of them. And of course, was excellent in his delivery. And of course, again, that was very well done. It's amazing how do you organize that? And I was there. I was the chairperson of the NAACP dinner, maybe several years ago. I don't know if about 7 to 8 years ago, and I was there watching everything and part of putting it together as a chairperson. But I still don't know how they do it, but it's very well done. And of course, again, my sisters and brothers, that's something that again that we have to always understand to be supportive of is our civil rights organizations, and I think whether you like this person or that person, it ought not to be has to do with personality. It has to do with the whole idea of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to do together. And of course, Wendell Anthony of the Pastor Fellowship Baptist Church, you got to admit that he's done a wonderful job, and certainly we want to offer our congratulations for another success of the NAACP annual dinner. And so in saying all of that, just trying to give you up to date in terms of the NAACP, in terms of the teachers' gala that took place on last night, in terms of the food venue that we had on Friday, and every first and fourth Friday of the month at Historic Little Rock Baptist Church, talking to you also about the next job fair. I'm sure there'll be others before then, and we'll make sure we get that into you as well. But what I really want to talk to you a little bit about this morning, and of course, we always know that the first hour is always slow, but I'm just saying to you is that what are we going to do about what are we going to do, and what can we do, I should say, in terms of really helping with the school system that's basically is talking about it's the worst in the country, and what can we do? What can we do? A lot of times, as I said before, for many of us, when you call me and you say, "Well, Reverend, you're always talking down to us. You're always talking, as against us rather than the people that's basically perpetuating the system and so forth." Well, I'm asking this morning, what can we do? Statistics don't necessarily lie. The facts don't really lie. So what can we do? And obviously, my sisters and brothers, again, if we in the fourth grade math, 4% of the Detroit students scored above proficiency, and then in the fourth grade reading, 5% of the students compared to statewide, and whereas about 32%, and the eighth grade math, 5% of Detroit students scored about above proficiency compared to 31% of the statewide. In the eighth grade reading, 7% of Detroit students scored at above proficiency compared to about 44% statewide. And of course, it comes out indeed, and talking about the fact is that Detroit schools are the worst in the nation. Again, that was the title of the article. Detroit schools worst in the nation, and then that word again, and that should really should bother all of us. And of course, as of course the superintendent, the new superintendent, Dr. Vitti, indicated that he's going to make a change, and certainly going to do everything he can to change that. He's just got here, and obviously he's got to have time to do that. But what can we do in the meantime? What can we do in the meantime? what can we do in the meantime? And one of the things that I really like to think about and like to talk about is the possibility of getting about a thousand of us, a thousand of us in the city of Detroit, tutors and mentors, and then perhaps identify them by the end of June, and so that July and August we can have a chance to really organize and also to basically train them as tutors and as mentors. And I'm just saying to you is that something that you feel like can be done? Is that something that you feel like you like to work with? And that is that we would have tutors and mentors in our school system, and if we can get 1,000 students, 1,000 parents rather, and people that's not parents that really just care about our school and our children, is that something that we feel like can be a big help, and that's one of the things that I feel like that we ought to try and try to make sure that we have some help in the school system with our teachers. I think also one of the things we ought to do is try to work with maybe Eastern Michigan, which has a very good and excellent educational program. A lot of teachers come out of Michigan, Eastern Michigan, and perhaps that we could put a intern in the classroom to work with the regular teachers. So you have a teacher and a half, so to speak, in each classroom. Those things that I think that we can do if we're willing to do it. And maybe this is not the panacea, maybe this is not the answer, but at the same time, my sisters and brothers, let's do something. Let's just try to do something rather than just sit here and come out next year. Detroit schools scores are worse in the nation again and again. And I know you don't like this the way I talk, and I know you don't like the way I present the subject, and I know you have problems with me in terms of. But my sister, sometimes I indicated to you, and I think it's something that Minister Farrakhan said once to the media and to people that basically was criticizing him, and that is, and I think it's biblical, and that is, I'm the messenger, and you want to kill me, and I'm bringing you the message. You want to kill me, and you want me to bring you the message. You're mad at me because I'm giving you giving you the truth. The question, of course, is what are we going to do about this that we consider to be the truth? And again, as I said before, we can sit here and I don't know, I just feel like that whatever is going on in our community, I just feel like we can take care of it. We can do it. We can handle it. We got the resources to do it. And of course, again, as I said before, that the word again ought to really just bother. It just bothers me. It should bother you, and I'm sure that it does. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Oh my goodness. I hear a whole lot of interference. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello? Can
yes,
you
you're
hear
on
me?
there.
Okay, I can see your lips. I'm reading your lips because I can't hear you. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I have no disagreement in solutions. Yes, Reverend Holly, we need solutions. And so while we're trying to dig up and thread up and get the people woke up in order to do what we all necessarily need to do to save our sons and our daughters, our families, our elderly, our community, I'm all in agreement to all of that. But we cannot leave out the elephant in the room with this welfare, corporate welfare going on, with the CASA accounts that nobody wants to open up and do a forensic audit on your tax dollars that's supposed to build your schools, help your schools, save your schools. Nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the funding that's always being drained through corporate greed. And so as far as I see, many of our politicians and maybe our leaders are all getting the wealth out of our tax dollars and looking the other way and not participating in our gain, but participating in our stress and our strain because they're helping to drain. If you could give Nestle, a billionaire company, free water, but you won't come up with an affordability plan based on income for our citizens to have clean water, you know they don't give a darn about our children being educated. Now, I've heard Gary Brown on your show talking about a water plan, but I just found out they did not adapt the water plan that would help the people. It would really further much place more dam on the people than anything.
Right.
So, but Philadelphia, they picked up the affordable plan that welfare rights had extended to the city council. But
Okay.
they choose to use their own plan, which shows they really don't give a damn because the people are still being shut off.
Mhm.
And they're not announcing the health crisis that is causing with thousands and more people are going to be shut off of water. So, yeah, I'm with you on the solution game, but if you don't get to the root of the evil or how they're draining our resources to keep our conditions in the conditions that they're in,
Right.
we'll just be running around in
Gotcha.
circles, chasing our tails. Thank you for taking my call, and I love you.
And
Bye-bye.
thank you for the call as well. Call, you had touch Harry
Yeah,
this
good
morning.
morning, Reverend Holley.
Good morning.
In regards to, you talking about doing some tutoring and that kind of thing, I look at it this way. Dr. Vitti, who started with DPSCD in May, he's the new sheriff in the town. And we basically got a new board, okay? And educators are the ones that are going to have to do a better job in terms of educating kids, and also parents, because we are the first line educators,
Right.
all right? But I think what's wrong now is that we have had too many people with their fingers in the pot trying to, do whatever they do, and resources are expended, okay, to the point where it really doesn't get to the kids. So I say, just like with that emergency financial manager that was placed over DPS, who was it? Robert Bob,
Yeah.
Roy Roberts,
Right.
Darnell Early, Jack Martin, I think, and the last one was Mr. Rhodes and Judge Rhodes.
Right.
That's the problem. You get people, other than having walked and attended school from K through 12 in higher education, they have not walked in my shoes to do what I do. So they have no idea. All they've got is what they think, and they're on the outside looking in, okay?
Right.
But I say leave educating to the educators. And
Okay.
everybody else, I'm sorry, step off and stand back and
Gotcha.
let us do our job.
That's good. And I hear you loud and clear, and I hear that a lot as well. And that is leave the education to the educators, and I just I hear you loud and clear, and I can understand the what you're saying, but I just feel like you have 9 members, like whatever the number is on the board, and you got 900,000 people in the city of Detroit. You got one superintendent and so forth, and obviously the leadership is there. But what can we do to help? I mean, parents, if you got students walking in and beating up teachers and challenging teachers in the classroom and so forth, I mean, those are the kind of things where parents we got to get parents involved with the understand that the culture, that's not the culture we want in our school system. And we have to understand that there's a lot to educating kids, my friend, than the classroom. I mean, do they? What's going on in the home? Do they have lights? Do they have heat in the wintertime? Do they have a stable home in terms of whether or not when they get home, mama says we're moving because we got evicted. I mean, there's so much that goes on in education with urban America, which I don't think politicians are the people that basically are educators really understand. So I think that we have to again view it, and you may end up being right, and I'm wrong. I'm just saying to you is, but we need to have some conversation as to what it is we need to do to turn these numbers around. And I don't think it ought to be just Dr. Beatty or the board members, but it ought to be several people in the community. But like, for example, it's what I called up the P principle. You got parents and politicians and preachers and principals and the police, people like that basically need to be in the classroom in a conversation in terms of what can we do to social workers. Maybe we need more social workers in our school system to find out what's going on in the home. I mean, that's the reason why I think a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, that politicians and people like Miss the Bessie DeVos and people like that, they they mean well, but they just don't, what somebody said earlier, they just don't know us. They just don't know us. And then when you do get somebody in a position to make policy, they forget about us. And so again, 37 minutes after the hour. Caller, thank you so much. How are you this morning? Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Holley.
Yes, how are you?
All people. Reverend Holley, the bottom line is we need to deal with the root of the problem. And that's something that we don't deal with. We deal with branch problems. We got to go back to the root of the problem, Reverend Holley.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, we don't want to deal with that. You have to look at all of this is being engineered and orchestrated. They don't intend to educate our children, nor poor children. It's not in the plan, Reverend Holley. Anytime you have a system that meet and congregate about depleting the population by 2 to 3 billion people understand that you vote for that they in secret meet vote on eliminating people. You got to look at what's going on, Reverend Holley. You have a system that it don't need the bodies today because of technology, and they are eliminated. And you throw the less baggage off a sinking ship first, and that's they see as black people. And until we deal with the root of the problem, Reverend Holley, we can talk and talk and talk, and the problem ain't gonna be solved. When you think about this, Reverend Holley, many of us didn't want to deal with the issue about the vaccinations. Robert Kennedy Jr. brought that out. But how many of us looked into that? They're vaccinating our children with mercury base, and it's worse, 1,000 times worse than the lead. And it has effect on the brain. Then you, Reverend Holley, you got to look at the food that's filtered into our communities, in the water. Yeah. We don't want to, God himself has got to intervene because we are people that we're not waking up, Reverend Holley. We too afraid to deal with the real issue. And we don't like to mention the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad showed us in the 1930s. He had the courage to say, we got to take our children out of our enemy's school.
Okay.
And he did that. He went to jail for us to show us that that's the solution. God said, that, that you're near the end when you see the educational system fall. It has failed, Reverend Holley. It's not going to get any better. And until we do better, it ain't going to change, Reverend.
All right.
Have a blessed day, Reverend. I
And
love
I appreciate the call. Again, here I go, and I hear you, and I respect the call, and I respect what you're saying. And obviously, I lived in the area of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But understand, I mean, when you have black teachers, black school boards, black superintendents, uh, uh, black students, black administration. We're why can you say we're in the hands of the enemy? They were in our hands. They're in our hands, and even when I was growing up, with one room school, uh, you know, they anyway. I know I sound like a broken record. Caller, thank you so much. Good morning.
Uh,
Good morning.
can you hear me,
Yes, I can.
Reverend Holley?
Yes.
Well, first I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers who are
Thank you
tuned
for that.
in.
You're right. Yeah.
Secondly, you mentioned that Michigan was at the bottom last year and again this year.
Hmm.
And I believe that education was in the hands of the educators.
Hmm.
And this morning you have come to us asking for ideas on how we can help.
Right.
And I think what you have put forth is vitally important. I do think we need mentors for the children.
Hmm.
We need to have people who would just sit and let the children read. There are children who read, and they read very well. So we can't just assume that every child in school is stupid and not able to read or know math.
Yeah.
But for the children who are in need, they, I agree with you, need to have mentors and tutors. They have existed over the decades,
Hmm.
and there's no reason why I think you mentioned about 1,000 or so, why we should not try to invite and encourage that number or
Hmm.
more that
Right.
you're speaking about this morning.
Right.
And there were two people who called in talking about forensic audits and seeking out solutions to the other problems. That's fine. That just means that we have to multitask
Mm.
and we have to address other issues as well.
Yeah.
But it's extremely important for our children to learn to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you are putting forth will help them to get there that much faster,
Yeah.
Reverend Holley. And it was good to see you Thursday night, by the way.
Right. Thank you for the call. As always, I appreciate your call. If I could, producer, I forgot to get my commercials in there, and if you could set it up for me, and right after now, I just want to come right back and follow this up, and basically is to understand my sisters and brothers that what bothers me, what really bothers me, is that LaPorte, Detroit soars worse in the nation again, and not one press conference by activists or educators, or I hear somebody on the rip about it. But in terms of really, it's almost like if you have 300 homicides at the end of December, we start out January 1st as if nothing happened in the previous year, and so we come right back and really deal with this the same way, and that is it's almost like we just accept it. That's what bothers me, is that we accept the worst in our community, that we accept it. And every other ethnic group, if I'm saying it right, politically right, and education is the priority for all of them. Education for the East Indians, education for the Chinese, and for the Japan. All it's always the Jewish. And again, we have to understand it was for us at one time. And I think it is but somehow, some kind of way, we're just, we ignore it. And just life just goes on, and the church just go on praising God, praising God, praising God, just praising our way on to heaven anyhow, and not doing anything. And so you say, well, God, I am God's hands. I'm His eyes. I'm His legs. And it's like the lady that's on the roof in the flood, and every time somebody came by with a boat, and she said, "I'm waiting for God," and somebody came by with a helicopter, "I'm waiting for God." And so when she drowned and died, she went to heaven and she asked God, "I thought you were going to save me." And God said, "I did try to save you. I sent a boat and a helicopter." And I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, God is sending us. It's us. How do we sit here and allow us to be the worst of anything and not try to do something about it? I'll be right back.
A little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
There is not another culinary or hospitality academy located in the city of Detroit.
There's a lot of people teaching culinary arts, but they're not teaching the business side of it.
We're opening up another kitchen for the Cleary Culinary Academy. We're going to bring a Cleary mind to every kitchen in downtown Detroit.
But when we talk about a Cleary mind, we're talking about a student that can make a definite impact.
We want to be a part of all the wonderful food establishments, restaurants, and the food scene in general in downtown Detroit.
I've always been interested in driving. When I was in the service, I drove a stick shift truck. After being retired, I got tired of sitting around. It's time for me to get back maneuvering something on the road. I'm back in school again. I seen the sign out there, said truck CDL. I'm in school trying to get me an associate degree. One reason I quit school years ago, I'm slow learning. But once I learn things, I can pick it up. But I can pick more so up on hands-on. The technology is different for me. It's the difference between driving a straight back truck or a stick shift car. And the semi-truck amazes me. This is a program that advances knowledge. I'm determined to get an education, get you a skill and a trade. Live life, enjoy it.
You've seen him on the red carpet, you've seen him on the sidelines, you've seen him on the stage. The hottest looks in urban fashion from the biggest name in urban fashion, Van Dyke's. Now pick out 3, pay for 1. 3 suits for 1. Van Dyke's, 10 Mile and Southfield Road. You've seen him at the clubs, you've seen him in the boardroom, you've seen him on the pulpit. Now get them at Van Dyke's. 3 suits for 1. Suits for the workplace, for the club scene, to be seen in. Pick out 3, pay for 1. Van Dyke's, 10 Mile.
And once again, thank you so much. About 12 minutes to the hour, and we'll go right back to our telephones. I just want you to know that I play these commercials, my sister, brother, and I really don't, they're not really commercials. They're really messages, just really messages of understanding that indeed I want you to realize that if it's anything that you want to be, you can be it at Wayne County Community College District. And if you, and whatever your problems are, I'll make sure that I work with Chancellor Ivory and make sure we handle any problems you have. If it's money, if it's clothes, if it's transportation, whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is. If you don't have your high school diploma, well, make sure you go into a program and get that. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, my sisters and brothers, that somehow, some kind of way, Detroiters got to move with Detroit. And Detroit is moving without us. I said it, and I'm not going to take it back. The other thing I'm saying to, if you finance, I have a finance school, Cary University, got it brought here to the city of Detroit. If you want to go into financing, understand there's no reason why you can't get into that. Money, whatever it is, culinary, culinary. There's thousands of jobs available here in the city of Detroit and around the city of Detroit for culinary. And I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, I'm now on the police commission board, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to make sure that when we get police, African American police cadets, that we're going to have mentors with them, police mentors with them, to make sure they get through the academy. And if you this marijuana that you got, you just got to understand, my son brother, you just got to do it right. You just got to do it right. Guy tells me, well, if I got to give up marijuana, well, I won't get no job. Well, then you won't get one. Then you won't get one. And I know marijuana's coming, and no doubt about it. It's coming. If it don't come before November, it's going to come in November. I understand that. And this whole thing about this, it's like an oxymoron. They want to throw everything at us, and we're going to the schools. We can't go to schools drunk. We can't go to schools high. We can't go expect to get a job high. We got to understand. They throw liquor at us. They throw weed at us. They throw everything at us. At us. And somehow, some kind of way, it's amazing to me. And it's really not about money. And the people that's pushing it is pushing it to push it. They're pushing it to push it so that they can make money. They're not going to smoke it. They're just going to sell it. Caller, thank you so much for getting me off this. How are you this morning? Good morning. You on the air, caller. How are you? Caller, thank you.
Me?
Yes, I am. How are you? Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes. You're on the air. What's going on, Junior? Oh, you don't see nothing wrong? Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. How are you?
Good morning, Reverend.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Well, good point. Well, Reverend Howard, I still think this is victim blame. In 1999, when the citizens of Detroit, we voted for us to get over $1 billion to rehab our schools and everything. What did the corporations and the politicians do?
I know.
Came in here and imploded and took all of that money.
Right.
Well, none of my children or grandchildren live in the city of Detroit anymore. We have 3 children who just recently moved on my block. So I think this is victim blame and blaming us for what is happening here. It's not our fault. I hope people don't believe that. It is educators who don't have jobs. We need to change up the type of the systems, the way we teach children. In Japan, they do not test children until they are in the 4th grade. It's the system here that is devastating African American children and children, period. We have in New York, and then too, wherever you get your studies, those statistics that you get, those are corporate people trying to run people out of Detroit with those statistics. I don't believe them, because if you want to promote something, you get a corporation to write any type of study down, okay? They'll do any study to devastate people and run them out of the city of Detroit. But they're not going to run me out. I'm going to die in this house. But I don't think those things, all of those things are true. Okay. We have educators out here who don't have employment, okay? This system, if we have a system that we paid $750 billion for military and taking money from schools, taking money from elderly people. This is a smoking screen to take your Medicaid, your Medicare, and food stamps and social programs away from the people. Do you understand? They are putting senior citizens out of nursing homes because of cuts in Medicaid. People, call your Congress people. This is our country. I want my tax dollars spent for the American people, for the children, for the senior citizens that have worked here. That's where our tax dollars should be going, to us. Do you understand me?
Yes,
those studies you got are used to discourage people. We have a society now that is going to be run by computers. I mean, they're putting up those computers inside fast food places. Every time young people they tell me, Miss, I only got 30 hours this week over there at Myers. I talked to the kids. They said they just gave me 30 hours, just gave me 20 hours. And they continually putting up those machines where you can run in there and run out. So this is all being done against the American people.
All
people,
right.
you need to pay attention. You need to get involved.
All right.
We need to put the right people in office, because you know what? Automation is going to take away a lot of jobs. Do you understand me? They're going to take away our jobs. And you're sitting up here, you know what? I can use my computer, and my computer will type in grammatically right English for me. Do you understand me? I can write up a resume and have the computer does that by itself. You understand me? So we are moving into a society where computers are going to take over a lot of our jobs.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
That's just a fact.
All right.
But,
Thank you for much. Thank you. I think you made your point. Thank you so much for the call. Hello. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Something's wrong. Because line one seems to be a problem. I'll call you in touch. How are you this morning?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You on the air.
Okay. The system, the volume is so low. When people call you on this phone, they can't hear you at all. I could barely hear you.
All right.
But let me continue to say this. The previous caller was absolutely right. To take statistics and what they say on the newspaper, you are the messenger carrying wrong message, and that's why the people don't appreciate when you come and then start talking about people are drunk, people taking drugs and all that kind of stuff, and then tell us that education is the answer. Well, I come to you in this station. I told you that when I went downtown, the cooks, the janitors are all white. They don't have no education, but they got you, the messenger, telling us that we should give them our tax money to bring in a workforce in a city that's got overwhelmingly unemployment. And those people whose unemployment had skills to pour drinks. Hello?
I'm listening to you, Tyrone. Go ahead.
I guess you can hear me.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is that education is not in the conditions that we are in. And the messengers are the people who put us in these positions, such as the Black City Council. The Black City Council started giving away in 1996 with the Institute of Art. They gave away our collective property. Not the bankruptcy. They was giving away our collective property long before, and the mayor and the Wayne County executive was in a Judge Cox's office and wrote up a memorandum of understanding, created the Great Lake authorities, and took the biggest water company in the country that was publicly owned, and we didn't have a vote on nothing. So you're telling us to look at the city council when we seen the city council gave away and collaborated with the state. Hear how they collaborated with the state. The state write a memorandum of agreement, and if city council does not protest it, the zoo, everything belongs to us, to the authority. And that's how they collaborated to keep us from voting on our own property. So we didn't vote on nothing. We didn't vote on Eastern Market taken away, gave away. We didn't vote on Cobo Hall. We didn't vote on nothing. And you tell us you're just a messenger, and we should talk to our city council. That's why, and then say we are drunk, we are this, we smoke weed. That's what the people understand that, because I made sure I let them know how they collaborated. And then the ministers of the Council of Baptist Pastors, when it comes to that agreement, a grand bargain, all of a sudden they dug them hustlers up, and they came down there and agreed with it. And you tell us to honor those preachers that was a part of it, and they gave the Forgotten Harbor take a scrap food, and then say y'all should have some type of loyalty in the community. We'll let you all give out 70 pounds of food. We understand.
You know, Tyrone, I'm telling you, man, you got to have a lot of patience to listen to that. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm telling you, man. And I can't take it no more. It's 2 minutes after the hour. You're listening to, you're watching TV 33 WHPR, Detroit, Holland Park, and that's my ID. So again, if you didn't get it, let me give you one more time. You're watching TV 33 WHPR, Detroit, Holland Park. Yeah. Okay, let's see. We're going to take it just to see if I can get the mics going. So let me take about a 60-second break.
Say a little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
You've seen them on the red carpet, you've seen them on the sidelines, you've seen them on the stage. The hottest looks in urban fashion from the biggest name in urban fashion, Van Dykes. Now pick out 3, pay for 1. 3 suits for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road.
Say a little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
And once again, thank you so much. And I thought maybe what I'd do is just change mics and see if that will work, and hope that it will. And also make some adjustments on your end as well. And I apologize if you have not been able to listen. If the auto is not. Nevertheless, we just thank you for your patience. You know, the thing about it is, we can talk about all the things that happened in the past, and think about all the things in terms of what happened with City Council, what happened with bailout, what happened to Cobo, all of those kind of things. What I'm trying to deal with is the future. I'm trying to deal with the future. And I'm not talking about people. The thing about it is, my sisters and brothers, we do have a problem with our young people with the weed problem. And they cannot really qualify for a lot of these jobs. And the statistics would bear it out. Because they're not able to really because of the drug tests. You know, one of the problems is also in terms of getting employment with government and city is as I understand it, and I talked to the lady in human resources, and basically it is the reading comprehension. And I'm just saying to you is that comes right back to our education. It comes right back to what's going on in our public school system. And again, as I said before, you can say that you don't believe the numbers, you don't believe. You know, when the doctor told me that I had cancer, you know, and so you sit there and you basically go in a pity mode, or do you go in a denial mode, or do you basically say, doctor, let's take care of it. Let's just take care of it. And so in 2008, I basically took care of it, and giving God the glory that I basically am a cancer survivor. I'm just saying to you is that that's the way it is with much of what we're talking about here. You can't be in denial. We got to basically get in front of this stuff and see what we can do together. Start being acting like we're victims and so forth. You know, is that we just got to get in front of this stuff and try to see what we can do to work with the school system. And if it's indeed in terms of tutoring and in terms of mentoring and all those kind of things, then let's see what we have to do. If it's something else, but we got to get into this thing together. Now you don't have to believe these facts. You know, everybody else does for the most part. Than the two of you, but most of the people do believe it. And yes, there's a lot of things that goes on in this city and in this state against this city. I understand that. I understand it very well. I understand. I live here. I'm not blind to all of this, but the point is that you have a sense of knowing, let's do something about it. Let's try to do something about it. And so I'm just saying to you, my son, I'll go back to the phones, but it's difficult to sit here and pay for this. You know, they're not giving me this time. I pay for it. And to sit here and just allow Tyrone to go on this tirade kind of assassination, character assassination, and I can handle it. But the point is that the time is very, very valuable, and also it's expensive. And so I'm just saying to you is, I don't mind the criticism, it's fine, but it ought to have some substance to it. And I'm just saying to you is that what can we do? Yes, we know the funding for education, it ought to be different, and that the people in Bloomfield Hills, they have a different funding and for education, and obviously their tax dollars. where you basically the tax dollars that we have for the city of the young people in Detroit. And so you got a $7,000 mine competing with a $14,000 mine. And I'm just saying to you, we understand that the funding is a problem. But until that happens or changes, what are we going to do? What can we do? But I'm just saying to you, is it after school programs? One of the things I think that if the school for the most part is over at 3 o'clock, and many of our young people need help after 3 o'clock, then the church next in the community, they ought to have a tutor program, a mentoring program with the young people that need the help. And so you have volunteers there to help. I mean, the thing about it is, you keep talking about it takes a village to raise a child, then where is the village? That's all I'm asking. Where is the village? And my son, many of you still dealing with history. You know, I mean, history is fine in England. It ain't worth a doggone in this United States. It's about how are we going forward? What are we going to do to get into in September? We got 3 months to basically, and then for these young people that's coming out of school, we got some of the best minds coming out of school. We want to make sure they stay in the area and they go to school in the area. And when they graduate, they stay in the area. I mean, so let's work with what we got and try to get more of the best that we have. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm good, Reverend Holley. Decided to tune in this morning.
Thank you.
And first, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. But Reverend Holley, I want to kind of go on what you were just saying. You know, I don't think that the black community nationwide have accepted what really is or the truth. See, because acceptance is the first step to solving a problem. You have to first of all accept the problem as it is. You got to see it and accept it as it is. And that acceptance is about your own responsibility and how you played a part in the situation and how you're going to play a part in solving whatever your problem happens to be. But you're talking to a generation, Reverend Holley, that are like children sitting in the marketplace, as Jesus said, calling out to others, saying, we played the pipe for you. You didn't dance. We sang, and you didn't mourn. And then he went on to talk about how John the Baptist came. He didn't eat or drink, and they said he had a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking. I'm talking about not no fellas walking around talking that crazy stuff, but the principle. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say he's a glutton and drunkard. He's a friend of tax collectors and sinners. And then he went on to start talking about, but here's wisdom. Wisdom is known by its children, what they produce. See, so when you got people telling you education is useless, because see, they don't want to solve these problems. They don't want to see the problem. See, education gives you the ability to see the problem as it is. And when you see it, you accept it. And when you accept it, you're able to solve it. You're able to come up with a plan to solve it. So when you start talking about we got 3 months to put something in place, they can't hear that, Reverend Holley.
Yeah, all right.
Because they have not accepted the responsibility.
Yeah, but I hear you loud and clear, and I appreciate the call. I just feel like that's not the problem. I think many people do understand. Many people do accept and want to do something about it. I just feel like they're waiting for somebody else perhaps to step up and to get him to really organize it and get it going. But my sisters and brothers, how can we sit here and not understand that to be the worst in anything? I know we're in poverty. For example, we're the worst in the nation when it comes down to poverty. So how can we accept anything that's the worst and you live there. You live there, you know. I'm a very orderly kind of person. I have a great grandson in my house now, which is about 13, 14 months old, and normally my house is it's just orderly. Everything is in its place. But now that he's there, it basically is all over the tricycle here and the toy here and all over the place, and it drives me crazy. And so I'm beginning to try to tell him, indeed, try to when you get through with this, put it up and pull something else out. This is where all your toys are. But put when you get through with this, put this back. Just trying to work with him that he might be organized. Why should I sit here and let him basically disorganize my world, and I'm in charge? And I'm just saying to you, as my sisters and brothers, that maybe that's not the best example, but I'm just the best I could come up with right now. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning? 14 minutes after the hour.
I'm just saying, Doctor. I got an echo. Anyway, you're dealing with, you're talking about a village, fix a village to educate a child. Well, Elijah Muhammad had the village, and you see what they did to him. They sent him to jail, trying to start his own school. I mean, education is that important. So, but we definitely need a different configuration of education because we got different needs. I used to teach for with DPS. We had a Black Child in Crisis every year down in Coleman Hall. I used to teach teachers how to program in BASIC. And DPS at one time was one of the first in the nation in terms of progress in technology and computer literacy and all of that. But how did we get where we are now? These statistics you're talking about, I would say the state, financial manager. That's how our educational system degraded to what it is now. And the state is still got that type of affliction on us, poisoning people and doing all other kind of things. So we're dealing with oppression. Man, you got to work with, I can understand your experiences. You got to work with the people on that particular level. But we have to look at the opposition. How do we deal with the opposition? Because, they'll do a lot more than just send us to jail. I mean, that's the question I'm asking you, I believe
that's the question you're asking. Right,
opposition, gotcha. This is a whole different age when you start talking about education. Your school, you had a good school. What happened? People start working together. We're the enemy. And when you talk about black folks, I don't see why people get upset about that. We are oppressed people. We got the mark of oppression. We got to remove that. And I think you might use it as a scapegoat. Maybe people think that, but we do have the mark of oppression, and that has to be addressed.
Okay, gotcha, my friend. Thank you for the call. Call you in touch. How are you this morning?
How you doing today, Reverend Holley?
Just fine. Thank you for the call.
First, Reverend Holley, shout out to TV33 Comcast, Channel 91, WHPR, Detroit Highland Park. You got to give a shout out to us here, the TV show host. Yourself, Reverend Holley, Mr. Lisa Bob, Lee Jones, Ms. Colette Ramsey, Ms. Perryman, Ms. Moneymaking Diva, Tommy Young.
Your question.
Renee,
What's your question?
And all the other fine show hosts of TV33. Oh, the hair doctor. Thank you for letting me shout out all of the TV show hosts of this wonderful station, TV33. I made a comment about you, sir, outside your presence. I said, me, you, Colette Ramsey, and Minister Malik Shabazz are helping our community without the power of vote. So I commend you for that.
Okay.
Sometimes these people that call your TV show don't acknowledge, first off, you've been on this TV show for 10 years. And ever since I used to watch J.D. Hill, you've always given people an opportunity to run their mouth negatively about you on TV time show that you pay. So, you're a man of God, but you're also a man of your God. Let me repeat that. You're a man of God, but you're a man of your God. People might want to keep thinking that you're supposed to practice the mindset of Christ, that if somebody slap you in your face, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. But these people on this TV show, they slap you in the face so many times. They slapping you on the butt. They biting you on your feet. They pulling your hair. And you're just tired. So I'm putting it out there like that.
All right. Thank you for the call, though. Appreciate that.
Let me
call you in touch, Harry, this morning. Thank you so much. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to cut to the chase of what I think we can do to resolve this, because we've heard all the past, the present, and the future, and so forth. Here's what I think we can do to help both sides of things. We have a lot of college students out here who don't have jobs, who owe student loans, and all that. Why don't we hire some of them and also give them credit, credit in college for classes to tutor kids? Okay, they know how to read.
Yeah.
The college kids, they've gone through the system, and they're more adept to it probably than some of us people who may be retirees or older. They know the technology, they know the computer stuff, they know what's happening now. But also, I'm sure that they're equipped to teach the rudiments of reading and basic math and stuff like that. Now, I'd like to see that incorporated.
Sure. That's good.
We're all summer long, when these college students are out looking for jobs, can't find any jobs to do, or even during the school year, where they can go in possibly on weekends to local recreation centers or churches that are open for that. Pay them to tutor the kids. Also, you would have it on the other end that teachers would recommend, if Johnny or Susie is not doing well in school, recommend that they go on Saturday or even Sunday afternoon to have tutoring at such and so library or such and so rec center or somebody's church, and let the college students get paid and also get some college credit to go ahead and tutor these people. Now, on the other side of that, if you have a retiree or some people who are up on the latest stuff and who know how to teach, have the patience to teach people how to read and write and get into the latest stuff, pay them too. A lot of people out here need some money. As you said, this jobless rate is down, so they say. Trump could tell us any crazy stuff, but we know that, but it is. But people need a little money to make ends meet.
Right.
Like some of the senior citizens, they need some money, to help them out. Pay them something to go out here and do that. And I think that motivates people to go out and get some things done. And I think that would work, and I don't think there's a whole lot of logistics in that. We got colleges all over the place, all in our face. We got UD Mercy, we got Wayne State, Wayne County Community College, Eastern, Western, Michigan State. We got that. Okay, that's already there. What would be wrong with perhaps, giving Mr. VT or whatever his name is, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, that idea, that seed to plant, and
point.
Do a
like
consortium with the colleges around, and also the Detroit Area on Aging or whoever handles senior citizens. Give them something to do and pay them a little something to get out there, because everybody can't volunteer. It's rough out here. Time fare is high, all this other kind of stuff. So if you pay people a little something, give them something to motivate them to go out and do this. And I guarantee you, we'll see some changes in some of this stuff.
I like that. Thank you for that. And that's what I'm talking about. Let's just start thinking out the box. Let's start thinking out the box. Again, my sisters and brothers, we understand the president, the chancellor of Wayne County Community College is African American. The president of Wayne State is African American. The president of University of Detroit is African American. And at some point or another, I'm just saying to you is that we got the people that really got the know-how and got the education and got resources up under them. And I'm just saying to you, but how can we basically understand we're the worst of, and nobody's really saying anything. Nobody's really saying anything. And it's mind-boggling. Maybe preachers, and we got preachers with doctorate degrees and all this kind of stuff, not saying anything. Not saying anything. Not one civil rights organization has come out on a press conference and said, we're going to do this, need to do this, and that. They haven't said anything. And as I said before, it's just like if we had 300 homicides in 2017, we'll go on in 2018 as if nothing really happened and start all over again. And this somehow, some kind of way, it's mind-boggling to me. It's just mind-boggling to me that where is the Jesse Jacksons? Where are the Al Sharptons? Where is the National Network? Where is the Push, NAACP, all of these organizations? I'm just saying to you, how can you sit here and know that that this kind of stuff comes out and nobody is really seeing, and maybe they are, and maybe behind the scenes, and Reverend Holley, we're doing it, but we just ain't got you involved in it, so, but we know we're doing, and just because you don't know, don't mean it ain't been done. But maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Caller, you and thank you for your patience already this morning. Good morning.
Hey, Reverend.
Yeah.
I got to say that you got the proper message, but you got the wrong understanding of the thing. We got to understand that we're under financial management who changed the literacy program to make it test scores to be part of instead of teaching the basics. Okay? Tutors are the only way to go because we got to have somebody monitor our kids. Okay? The literacy program has got to change. We got to give this new chance a chance. But you have to understand, Reverend Ali, and not get frustrated, that individuals are just what they are, individuals. Anybody with some good common sense would know that the way of the world now is drugs are not going to be the answer because they're unsafe. They don't keep a person focused. And we get two different segments of income. Some people just want to get high. As I've always told you, we have to try to reach the ones to reach. So we got to try to build a forum because we're designed to be fighting with somebody that's not going to be on the same page. We have got to reach our kids by tutors because they changed the literacy program with financial money.
Okay.
We have got to try to form some kind of union because unless we form a union, we're fighting ourselves.
Yeah, gotcha.
We have to be able to try to reach our kids by having somebody that's going to give them added help. Any kind of way we can do that is be in a place where everybody is striving for the same thing. We need help, Reverend Holley.
Gotcha.
And the only way we don't get the help is we're going to have to get a form of put together and form some kind of unit. And it's all about all of those politicians that are not trying to help us at all. Because see, right now, unless they get embarrassed, they're going to keep on keeping their mouth shut, turning their head, and everything else. We got to put them on front street so that they can work for us.
Got you. Thank you very much. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Let me just ask this question. When is the last time you heard anybody talk about adult education? I'll wait. When is the last time that you ever heard anybody talking about adult education? Where is it? What's going on? What's going on with the people from 18 to 35, 34, 40 years old? Where are we with that? Where is the funding? I'm sure literacy programs or grants are out there somewhere, but where is it in the budget and in the state budget for literacy, in the federal budget or in the state budget, where it comes from the federal to the state to the city? Where is it? Where is it? We got 43 to 46% illiteracy. So where is the funding? Where are the classes? I'll wait. Where is it? Have you ever heard any? When's the last time you even heard anybody talk about adult education? And if not, why not? And why aren't we talking about it? And we got to understand, my sisters and brothers, a lot of our young people, young adults, they're not going to go back to eighth grade class at 27 years old. They're not going to do that. You can't expect them to do that. And so there ought to be funding for adult education to help us with this job situation. And and so I'm not just I call it. Thank you for your patience. How are you this morning? Good morning. I know you're there. Good morning. Are you going to talk to me? You listening? Good morning. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's an excellent idea that the lady came up with.
Yeah.
I do know someone with a PhD, and her field is education, and she does tutoring. She knows how to write the grant, and we need people like her in that circle. And I do know of someone that substitutes. We can get the substitute teachers who need income during the summer and do seasonal work as far as helping and tutoring our children. And with the GED program, they do offer that to the adults that's going through these trade skills. So you might want to look up those programs for those who need their GED so that they won't have to pay for it and it's free.
Right.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Just fine. How are you?
That's good. I'm okay. Oh, we're definitely going to have to think outside the box because the traditional education has fallen to the wayside. Not only Detroit is ranking last or close to last, the whole state of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the state of Michigan's priority. Education is not it. It's to make corporations richer. So if you want to make it simplistic, I like to know how much money Detroiters contribute to the state lottery, which they claim was supposed to go for education.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we contribute millions, if not billions. So based on that alone, we should have the best of schools.
Yeah.
But, again, this is not the state's priority. So you're right, and others are right. We're going to have to step outside the box because they don't give a hoot about educating us or even the rest of the people in the state. Thank you.
And thank you for the call. And thank you for that. It's 31 minutes after the hour. And I need to just pay this commercials. I got to run these commercials. I'm sorry. Just thinking my mind's going faster than my tongue. So I just need to, again, do these commercials that they're so important to this community and so much important to this station and certainly important to this program. And let me do that and then and sort of just come back and try to wrap this up. You certainly can give us a call, 868-0342, 868-0361, and 868-4336. Those are the numbers. I was trying to get a little conversation in here in terms of the thing with Maxine Waters, Congressperson Maxine Waters, was talking about. She's upset about this Make America Great Again. What that really is and what that's really all about. And of course, at some point, Reverend, my sisters and brothers, we have a conversation that we basically are resisting this president. We don't like particularly this president. Don't like him being president. We don't like him being not being presidential. Don't like what he has to say about our former president Obama. But he's going into his second year, and they already told us that he was going to be impeached, or he was going to something, where he wouldn't be president. He's going in his second year, and if you're not careful, he'll be in his fourth year, and next thing you know, he'll be in his fifth year. And I guess I'm trying to say to you is that we got to be vigilant and try to see what in the world we're going to be able to do, because he controls the purse strings, and we can be resistant, or can we basically try to find a way to get some money out of this government and trying to help us here in the city of Detroit, and certainly urban America as well. Take a short break, and we'll be right back. Let me continue to go on, because I forgot that my producer who stepped out of the control of the in the boardroom. So, caller, you're in touch. Hurry this morning.
You know, you mentioned adult education, and I remember over at King High School, I used to teach all the computer literacy.
Can you talk a little louder? Man, I got rain hitting on the roof, and I mean that's so I can't hear you. A little louder.
I'm just saying that adults catch on to computer literacy fast, like those database packages, word processing. They were my best students, and they loved computer programming. You had those apples and those CRS-80s back during that time. But that's, we're afraid about losing our jobs, but that's the retraining that we need, the computer technology. And as long as you can count your money, you can learn how to program.
See, as long as you count your money, huh?
That's right.
I got you. Thank you, my friend. I just want you to know, my sister and brother, that indeed it's going to be raining all day today. They're supposed to have 2 games in today, and I don't think they're going to make it. It's raining. Where I come from, when I was growing up, we had this tin roof, and so whenever it rains, it was always interesting in terms of having a tin roof on your house, and it seems like I got a tin roof over the studio here. I mean, it's raining just that hard. But today it's going to be raining about 50 degrees for the high today. Right now it's sort of like in the mid 40s. And on Sunday we're talking about rain as well, about 60 degrees. I'm not quite sure what the rain situation in terms of off and on, or will it be steady? But we have rain overnight in the morning. And then on Monday we're talking about 80 degrees, no rain on Monday, but 80 degrees. I mean, that's a welcome sight for sure, 80 degrees. It's 36 minutes after the hour. We do have some time on the, we have we have lines open right now, and if you want to give a call, you're welcome to do that. And I wanted to let you know, again, at Wayne County Community College, I've been talking about various careers and in terms of at Wayne County Community College, and there's so many that's out there, but there's a new one that they and as a preacher I should not be talking about this, but like I said, Dr. Ivory said, see what I can do, and that is craft brewing, craft brewing, how to make beer, and the medium annual wage for doing this is over $37,000, and so they're all over the place, and of course Again, maybe we can have communion with beer. But I'm just saying to you is that, and I'm just joking, obviously, the craft brewing certificate program prepares individuals for careers in growing beer brewing industry, and it's a new industry that's going on in the city, in Wayne County Community College, and all around the country, and all around the metro area. But again, they're giving you opportunity to own your own business as well. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Since you have a little time, can I talk about the RAP Water Residential Assistance Program?
Quickly, sure you can.
Okay, they got a home repair up to $1,000 per household to fix minor plumbing issues leading to high usage, water saving kits, consumer training classes, supportive wraparound services. And the phone number is 313-386-9727.
One more time.
313-386 WRAP or 9727. Or you can visit www.waynemetro.org/rap. And assistance up to $300 per household, $25 monthly bill credit. Home water audit for households above 120% average usage.
And this has to do with the water.
Hopefully, this will help some people. And I was so happy that lady called about some solutions to help our children get tutoring. And I thought about the recreation. Reverend Holley, the recreation centers are open all year round.
That's good too.
And that would be a great summer program to keep the children in tune with reading and math and whatever skills they need extra tutoring in.
Right. Very
Thank
good.
you for taking my call. Love you.
Thank you. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I had to call back because I think I made a mistake. What I'm seeing when I go to fish places in the community, I'm seeing the short order cooks are already cooking in these businesses. And I think we ain't watching what's going on. When I said they hiring people down, they brought the workforce downtown in. Then we're talking about education for what? Because there ain't going to be no jobs because they're already short order cooks are being done every day in our community. They're already, the immigrants, if you go to in those places, you'll see them cooking and have a black woman on the cash register. So they are changing and dominating the short order cooks while we are talking about education. That's what I'm just saying. I look like we taking we're not up on what's really going on. We're not looking at our eyes and see what. And we're talking about one thing. Then the question: what are they going to cook at? If all the cooking downtown is already brought their workforce in, and in the neighborhoods, you see it clearly. I go to Church's Chicken up there on the corner from me. All Indians. He's cooking. She's on the cash register. And we're talking about schooling. You understand? Nobody can be in our community and come in our community with a workforce when we got unemployment. I think we're missing the boat. Okay, that's all I want to say.
All right. And Tyrone, I'm not talking about no Coney Island. You know, I mean, obviously they're self-sufficient. When we're talking about culinary and training in culinary, my understanding is in America, they got it in the millions in terms of jobs. In the millions. I used to have the number, but it's in the millions in terms of jobs. And so you going to a Coney Island and going to use it as a survey. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm talking about restaurants. You know, you go out there on not Marigold, but it's a culinary school out there. and in the suburbs. I just it feels my mind is racing. So, and I guess I'm just saying to you is they feed the culinary school feeds these restaurants. And I'm just saying to you I'm talking about restaurants, man. I'm talking people making 40, 50, $60,000 as a chef. I'm not talking about you going to a culinary. I mean, going to a Coley Allen. That's not what we're talking about, Tyrone. Obviously, you got to, yeah. If you're gonna do that survey, yes. But we're not talking about no Coney Allen, man. We're talking about a certified chef that's making mega bucks. And so it's a big difference, man, between a short order cook. That's not what we're talking about. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning? Good morning. Yes.
I was just calling to let you know I was in the educational system before I retired, and it was like 20% that the teachers I teach education, 80% for discipline.
Yeah.
And they copying out the books to keep the kids occupied. It's just pitiful when the school system is down.
Yeah. Thank you for the call. I hear you. Called you in touch early this morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Hello?
Yes. How are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was calling in response to the man that was just talking about kind of downgrading education. I don't care if you're going to be a short order cook or a long order cook. You need education. Cooks need to know how to read, short and long order, and chefs, okay? They need to know how to count. I mean, they got to do recipes. They got to measure. I mean, you can't get away from education, regardless of whatever you say about it. You've got to have some education to function in this world. You got to be able to read, write, and count. Right. I mean, that's the basic stuff to me.
Gotcha.
And I can't understand anyone going against that.
Yeah, I got you. Thank you so much for the call.
Yeah.
Call you in patience. Thank you for your patience. How are you this morning? Good morning.
Yeah. On Chicago, they and Hubbard, they had a school where they teaching those children. And I got a neighbor, is a top chef, can't get a job downtown right now. So I'm not just talking about, I just gave the short order cooks in the neighborhood, but I got a neighbor. He cooks and fix my food today. He goes on every Saturday, and he goes up down the neighborhood. But he cannot get a job in those hotels downtown. He's a top. And what happened to all the black chefs was in this city?
All right,
They
gotcha.
ain't down there.
Tyrone, send him to me. Here, send him to me. Okay, send him to me. Okay, I'll just send him to me. If he or she got a certificate as a in a culinary school, send him to me. And I know what you're talking about over there at Hubbard. But it wasn't no. That was all not necessarily culinary. But I'm just saying but just send them to me. If they got a certificate, Tyrone, you send them to me, and I'll find a job for them. Okay, and if I don't get one, I'll pay them the money they would have to do to cook for me. I'm just telling you that again, there's a shortage of chefs in the city of Detroit, and all these restaurants. Every time I turn around, there's a restaurant coming up. There's 2-3 more hotels that's coming up with restaurants. You know, and I'm just saying to you is that I just feel that you will call out. Thank you for your patience with me. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. If two people come to a job and one of them, both of them put down the application. One on his application he's been to prison. I'm getting the echo. One guy got a prison record, been in prison. The other one don't. So more than likely, in most cases, you're going to hire the one that doesn't have the criminal record. The point I'm trying to make is that when things get slow and everything, the employer more than likely is going to lay off the black person. You know,
Why?
Now
Why?
they got this thing called best practice, and union is busted. So the point I'm trying to make is, until we get our own businesses and stuff, that's when we're going to be able to become free. And you look at a guy like Hugh Perkins, for example. Do you think he's going to give up that high-paying job in Lincoln and tell the truth and different things like that on the news? No, he got to pay for a big house or Lincoln and everything else. That's where the problem comes in. These 501c3s and different things, they get money for that, and that's what broke up the black community. So somehow or another, we're going to have to come together. And when we get enough pain, that's when it's going to happen. Thank you.
All right. Caller, thank you for your patience. Sorry this morning.
Reverend Holley, I'm glad I'm coming behind this gentleman. If you have a talent, I think it's important for you to not just think only for jobs, but to create your own business. If you're a cook, create a catering company. If you know how to clean, create a cleaning company, and the list goes on. We all have talent, but we must master a way to be our own CEOs and not constantly depend on someone else giving us a job, because that could be problematic. Thank you for taking my call.
Caller, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Reverend Holley, Reverend Bullock has a restaurant inside his store at 16400 West 7 Mile. You are happy Mother's Day out there, all to every mother on the planet. Go to Reverend Bullock's restaurant and store on West 7 Mile. You don't have to cook, mama. Go to Reverend Bullock. He got all kind of good food down there. Black hands can burn.
What's the name of it? What's the name of it? All right. Thank you. I do want to, I'm with this lightning and thundering, but lightning, and I'm not quite sure whether we are lightning insulated. So I'm gonna get off the air. I don't want to be the first person that's electrocuted on air. But I want to wish all of you certainly a happy Mother's Day, and to those mothers going on to be with the Lord, we certainly want to give them their praise as well. You know, the best gift that you can give any mother is a life that counts. The best gift that you can give any mother is a life that counts. And whether your mother has passed or whether your mother is still here, the best life, the best gift that you can give to a mother is a life that counts. And my sisters and brothers, every single day, we ought to do everything we can to make our mothers proud of us, to make our parents proud of us. And always remember that the name means something. That's one of the things that my grandmother taught me, that I don't care how poor you are and how broke you are, always remember that you're Holley, and that the name means something. And so I say to you, my son, brother, the best Mother's Day gift that you can give to a mother living or has passed on to be with God is a gift, is a life that counts. That's the best gift. I thank you so much. And again, like I said before, it's raining on both sides of the street. It's lightning on both sides of the street. I just really think that I want to just go on and say goodbye for right now. And I'll see you a week from today if the Lord says the same. Thank you for being with us.
Say